So, welcome to Friday Night Live, and this is Cheryl.
He's Ken.
And everybody's waiting for me to get it wrong. Cheryl's just been talking about that one of these days I'm going to mess it up. So, if you want to find out, just keep tuning in. Do me a favor in the comments. I see there's a bunch of you on. Just let us know in the chat where you're watching from, and I will bring that up as you come in. Today, we're going to talk about our Panama Canal cruise on Emerald Princess. We are on board the ship right now. We're probably, I didn't look at the position, I should have, but we're probably 100 miles, 150 miles out of Fort Lauderdale, headed that direction. We're supposed to be in early in the morning to be at the port and get off and head back home. We've already gone through the saddest phase of the cruise, and that's putting all the suitcases in the hallway. Now, they didn't leave a photo op, but the crew's been really aggressive about getting them out. Okay, so Pam is here from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and Kim is here from Saskatchewan, Canada. Very nice to have you guys in. We've had a really good cruise on Emerald Princess. This was our first Princess cruise. And if for those of you that are the cruise Princess before, put a note in the comments, let us know. We have Sharon from Calgary. So Canada is definitely well represented in the house. Maybe somebody from the U.S. is watching. Who knows? But so we were new to Princess, and we had maybe a little bit of preconceived notions about what Princess was going to be like as a cruise line. And I think they've been really good. What do you think, Cheryl?
I've really enjoyed it. It's a quieter cruise, I would say, in general, but of course it's school's in, so there's almost no children on board. But it's quiet, but it's a nice quiet. And the music selections in some of the bars are quite different. But they had some wonderful violinists that played in the piazza, and several different piano players that are wonderful. It's been really enjoyable.
Yeah, I thought the jazz band was really good. They play primarily up by Sabatini's. That's the Adagio Lounge. I had to think about that for a minute, but they've played some other places. They've been good. The shows have been a little different this cruise, but I think in part it is because of COVID. And we'll talk about COVID as we get toward the end of the show today, because there's been some issues here, and so we'll talk about all of that. But I thought the food has been very good. The one thing that surprised me is the size of the buffet. The buffet. Now, typically they only have half of it open. If you doubled it, it would make it bigger. But the buffet compared to Carnival or Celebrity or Royal Caribbean is much smaller, much less, I think a lot fewer options. What did you think, Cheryl?
Yeah, I would say it's smaller, but it's actually kind of, you go through it pretty quickly, because now for the hot food items they serve you, for the salad that you want specific things on your salad, they'll serve you. But many of the vegetables, the smoothies, the fruits, the breads, a lot of things are in small bowls where you just take a bowl and go. So it's much faster. You're not having to pick everything out. So it's a little bit, it seems like it would be more congested than it is. But I think it's because so much of it is already in single servings and you grab it and go. And I like that when I just want a snack or something, especially with COVID. I don't want to stand there around a lot of other people, and I don't want to let other people standing around breathing on my food either. So I'm kind of glad you just grab it and go, and then they put some more out as they need to.
Yeah. The one thing that we've eaten at the buffet a lot is breakfast. And it's funny because on a cruise ship, I typically eat breakfast in the buffet. Part of that is they let you have more than 2 strips of bacon at a time. And I am a bacon lover. For those of you that have seen pictures of me in the real life, it shows. But the other thing that I like about the buffet is you have a much wider choice of what's in your omelet. So typically in the buffet, I get an omelet that's got bacon, ham, and sausage, cheddar cheese, and jalapenos. Now, if I eat in the dining room, I can get ham and cheese. And that's the end of the options for the omelet in the main dining room. There is some, a lot to be said for them bringing everything to your table, but for us, we've eaten at breakfast in the buffet, and I thought, like I said, I thought the things that we've had in the buffet have all been good. It wasn't like there were things that we didn't like. It's just, comparatively speaking, a much smaller selection and much more compact. Now, on board the ship, it's been fairly slow, so it's been pretty easy to navigate the wheelchair in and around through the buffet. If it got busier, it would be much more challenging because it is really tight space-wise.
They always offer to help you, and they usually carry my plate for me unless Ken's pushing me. I like the choices on the food for the buffet. Well, in fact, I think even on the dinners and the lunches, everything, if you're like on the Mediterranean diet or you're trying to follow a healthier diet, there's a big variety of, nice to see you, Sean. But I mean, like for example, many times at breakfast they'll have like grilled artichokes with olives in a little bowl. I just a great way to throw in some extra vegetables, and along with all the other stuff that's not great for you. Don't worry about that. They've got the sweets covered. They've got the breads covered. But even though it's small, it's amazing how much they can fit in those little areas.
Yeah, like I said, they do a nice job of it, and they've been very super helpful on the ship. We'll start with talking about the Panama Canal, because I think that's what everybody's on the show to hear about. So I could save that for last, but I'll put it first. The Panama Canal is an amazing experience. It's something that Cheryl and I, you could call it a bucket list item. We've always wanted to do it. We had the opportunity. The price was right, and it fit our schedule. So we took advantage of it, and I am so glad we did. On this ship, and I can talk about, and for those, I know there's several watching that are going to be on this ship in upcoming sailings. This ship, the very best place to watch the Panama Canal, if you want to watch it going through it forward, because you have a choice. Really, you have great views looking back and great views looking forward. And they call this the Monkey Bridge, but right above the bridge is an area where you can stand, and they brought chairs out for pretty much for everybody, and you can be right looking at the exact same view the captain has of it. Down right in front of it, below that is the pool area for the staff, but that's 6 or 7 stories down, so there's really nothing to obstruct your view. And to get there, you go out on deck 15.
Yeah, I think we were on 16 before.
Yeah, you go out on deck 15. You go all the way forward. So if you come up the forward elevators, on either side, there's a row of cabins. And you just keep going up those cabins, and eventually you find a door that leads outside, and then there's about 4 or 5 steps up. Now, for those of you that have watched the show a lot, you know that Cheryl in general travels in her wheelchair. So what we did, coming back down through it, the first time she sat in her wheelchair, and we were up on deck 16, which is right above that, but you don't have quite as good a view as you do from, again, I'm going to call it.
It's more pointed. That not that many people can fit right at the front, so we were off to the side going in the first time.
Yeah, that's part of it, and it's just not as comfortable because for Cheryl, she could see, but I had to stand the whole time because there's not space to put in the chairs and stuff. But the Monkey Bridge, they brought up chairs, umbrellas. Yeah. By the way, we do suggest that you don't prop the umbrella on something in front of your wheelchair or in front of your chair, because we had an umbrella that wound up on somebody's deck down below at somebody's patio or balcony. There we go. Use the right word. But the crew was very gracious and brought us another one. Looked to see where it landed. I was just glad it wasn't somebody sitting down there and they were impaled with it. But that would have been embarrassing. It was embarrassing enough dropping it. But that was a great place. We watched and we shot video coming back through, and we'll have the video up on the channel here in probably be a month or so, because we have quite a few things still on our agenda. But that was a great place to sit and watch the transition through the canal. The other place, if you don't mind watching it in your rearview mirror, so to speak, is on deck. You've got deck 15, 16, and 17, I think, or 14, 15, and 16. But right behind the buffet, right behind Sabatini's, there is a small pool area, and there's several layers there, where several levels where you can sit and watch the basically the reverse operation of the canal.
If
So
you like to stand, I think 19 is there too.
yeah, I think you can. Well, and you could also
Drawing
sit in Skywalker's Lounge. You could sit in there and watch it as well. So there's some great viewing vantage points both forward and aft. So it's just kind of how you want to watch it. But we, like I said, it was really cool. They
Wear
had
sunscreen.
Oh yes, you guys probably can't see, but I am shedding like a snake right now. My back, my neck is really a crispy critter. I am truly a redneck. My forehead and everything got sunburned because I just didn't put any sunscreen on. So
And I rarely burn, but my forehead was red for several days after.
yeah, I don't burn easily. So it is a thing that you want to do. Is you want to wear your sunscreen. The umbrella for shade would probably be helpful. We didn't have an easy way to mount it, and we were busy. She was taking pictures, I was filming. So
but one other thing I really said before I forget, they had a narrator who spoke over the loudspeaker telling us what to see, what was coming up, like in the next 100 yards or whatever, and how the locks worked. It was all very, very educational and informal. And he also did a presentation ahead of time, which we didn't watch. But after that, I started watching his presentations for the rest of the trip, and he really is very informative.
Yeah, he did a really nice job of narrating, and he only narrated it going in. He didn't narrate it coming back out. And I think that's because he got on one of the shore excursions. They had 700 people off of the ship get on shore excursions in Gatun Lake. Because what you'll do is you'll go through the Agua Clara locks, which are right next to the old Gatun locks, but these are wider basically. And I think it's 3 chambers instead of 2 chambers. But you go side by side and you go into Gatun Lake, and then they'll anchor and they'll start to offload people into tenders and take them ashore. Now, there were not any really accessible excursions out of Gatun Lake. You had to be able to manage at least 3 or 4 steps because you were going on a ship's tender.
The lifeboats.
Yeah, the lifeboats to get ashore. So you had to be able to manage getting yourself down. Now they would take fold up your wheelchair and put it on the boat and take it off, but they wouldn't carry people. Now kids, they would help lift onto the ship onto the tender, but you had to be under 50 pounds. So that ruled me out. And Cheryl was just Cheryl was just slightly over the weight limit. Not bad. But yeah.
But also that the shore excursions are fairly time consuming, considering I can only sit for so many hours at a time, and I wanted to sit and watch the canal, going through the canal. So by doing that kind of shot my time for sitting. And then you'd have to sit through the tender, and then you would, like some of the excursions, you sit a lot in excursions, like you travel all the way to the Pacific on the old locks and then back. And some of those people did not get back to almost 9 o'clock at night. Something happened. I don't know what it was, but that would have been really, really hard for me to have that long of a day. I'm so glad we didn't sign up for any of the excursions.
Yeah, it would not have worked for sure. There were several that I thought would be a lot of fun. The one that went on basically went on a ferry down through the old locks all the way to the Pacific, and then you took a bus back. But for Cheryl, the riding the bus that long and all of those would have been just more than she could deal with. But there are a lot of interesting things to see. The shore excursion gentleman, I guess was our cultural expert, or I forget what.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, he was on the ship for a month, but he does the tours, and it was a lot of fun listening to him talk on the replay about it. So it was an amazing journey, and I can't recommend it enough. Like I said, I thought this ship was right now is probably the best time to do it, because the number of people on board the ship is so small that you never had to fight to get to a spot you could see things. Let's see. Okay. Yes, I was just popping up some here. Okay, so we'll talk more about this, but there were shows every night. The shows were not, I do not necessarily think they were the shows that would normally be scheduled. We had a lot of single singer acts, and one time we had three singers, one time four singers, one time two singers, but I believe there was some illness among the entertainment staff, because we didn't have dancers in any of the shows. Now, this is our first Princess cruise. Maybe they don't ever have dancers, but typically with musical numbers on board other cruise lines, you have dancers that are there with the singers sometimes. That we didn't have that. They had, let's see, last night we had the magician.
Yeah, they had a magician, and he informed us that he was not scheduled to come. He didn't know until 2 days before that he was going to be here. They flew him into Costa Rica to get him on the ship on time. And so we thought, oh, something's up. And then also, but we already suspected, because earlier during the cruise, we had a woman from Broadway, a Broadway singer, that entertainer that came, and she worked with just a pianist, and they put together some songs, and she made a story of her life in song. But I said that they had worked on it just then. So it was, I don't think all of these things were what they had planned, but with the space available and the time available and who's available, they did put on a show every night. And we enjoyed every one we saw.
Yeah.
We enjoyed them all.
We did. We didn't attend them all because we wind up getting involved in doing other things. But we've enjoyed our time. One of the things that makes me think that there's a challenge on board with sickness is when we first got on, there was a couple that played the violin, and they were so good. We were sitting there right after boarding in the piazza listening to them, and there's a short up on my channel about them. And for a couple of days, they weren't to be seen at all. And then all of a sudden, it's just the male violinist. The female hasn't been back in public eye. So again, we think that there may be some COVID involved in that.
And they did tell us there was some COVID on board. They didn't say who or how many. That's the entertainment is the only thing I've seen anything change that we didn't expect. So I'm thinking it was just there.
Yeah. She's going to show off. So
no.
We'll let Cheryl show up. She took a drawing class.
Yeah, they have a drawing class on this particular ship. He's it's a young Filipino, but he speaks perfect English, and he had 2 years of training as a portrait artist before he got into doing cruise ship things. So anyway, he teaches 4 classes for about 45 minutes to an hour each time. It's very limited. If you want it, you need to sign up right away. You need to be there every time, because someone will take your place for the first one for sure, maybe the second one. But this is what I have not drawn. Now, I did draw some portraits in high school, but that was many, many, many years ago. So in 4 hours on this ship, less than Ken. Anyway, this is what I drew after 4 hours of class. So I thought that was pretty good. I thought, hey, he's a really good teacher, and it was very enjoyable. And it's this is just with one pencil, and then he would sometimes come by with a darker pencil and do some of the outline, and then so that you could put more contrast in it. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So anyway, so there is a question here. And was there any random COVID test? No. As far as I know, we've never been asked to be tested. We were tested before we got on, had proof of test, proof of vaccination, and there was no other test as far as that goes.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of fun. They do some other interesting ones too. But since it was since entertainment seemed to be a little limited, a lot of people wanted to do the other things like that. So I stayed out so that everybody could have a chance, because this one took up 4 hours. So they had some other like napkin folding and other origami, and I didn't attend any of those. I'm sure they would have been a lot of fun too, but somebody else wanted a chance.
Yeah, and she has lots of drawing supplies and hasn't drawn for a while, so she was very excited to get a chance to do that, and I'm very proud of what she accomplished in that. But there's been a full slate of enrichment activities. I haven't. There's not a point in time where there's not something scheduled to keep you busy and engaged on the ship. You can stay as busy as you want. One thing I'll say too, and before I forget it, is I've been very pleased with the internet, because when I first tested it coming out of the harbor in Fort Lauderdale, it was a cloudy day, which has an impact on in satellite internet. It looked really bad, and I was like, we had 2 live shows scheduled. I had 3 or 4 other live events for work and for personal that we had, we're expecting to be able to do, and so I was quite pleased with the internet. By the way, for those of you that aren't subscribed to my channel, I will ask that you do me a favor and subscribe. If the button's red, you're good. If the button's red, you can need to hit it to subscribe. If the button's grayed out, you don't need to hit it. I share that information because I think sometimes people subscribe and then unsubscribe because they're not sure. So you could do that. And the other thing is likes are always good because it lets YouTube know that there's content worth watching, and they'll help other people find me. And I appreciate it.
I want to mention a little bit more about, you were talking about the enrichment programs. The narrator for that helped us as we went through the cruise or explained things. He was doing some of I really like the fact that he did things about the ports, because a lot of times if the cruise ship employees seem to do it, it might be focused a little more on where you can buy things. And he did go over shops, but he went through a lot of the excursions, personal experiences, personal pictures he took. He went through the history of each port, the people there, what they're like, what you can expect, how you'll feel, how you'll be treated. I thought he did a wonderful job. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we're gonna focus on ports in next Friday's discussion, and we are live every Friday night. We're gonna focus on ports for this cruise. We'll talk more about what we did, and we'll be creating videos on them, but it'll be a while because, like I said, we're kind of super busy. I'll tell you a little more about our schedule here in a few minutes. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. We'll talk about COVID on board. They have been pretty strict about wearing your mask. Now, they're not beating on people that don't, but in general, they will remind people, and we still see the occasional person that thinks that it's a chin diaper rather than something that's supposed to cover your nose and your mouth, but it hasn't been bad. Most everybody's been really good about wearing the masks. Cheryl and I, we can say we're religious about it. If we go outside of the room, we have our mask on, we wear N95 masks. And sometimes I'm huffing and puffing, pushing the wheelchair, climbing.
It's KN95.
Excuse me, KN.
And the KN95 is what all the staff are wearing. There's no fabric masks for the staff here that I've seen. It's all been KN95s. They all wear them all the time. Even when they're talking to you, they always wear them. I think only maybe the entertainment, like if they're far from you, then they're not wearing them. But if they're close to you, they're wearing them, even entertainers.
Yeah, I was going to say it was fun. In fact, we had a comedian magician last night, and he was funny, and I'm sure he was playing it for laughs as well. But he wanted to borrow a $100 bill from one of the cruise guys, and so he got his mask and put it on. The cruise guy came out and handed it to him. Then the cruise guy, when he got his $100 bill back, he held it with a pair of like forceps and had some spray stuff and sprayed the bill. But in general, they take keeping the passengers safe very seriously. They do everything they can. We typically will wear our mask even on deck unless we're eating. If we're just moving around, the odds are really good we're going to have our mask on just to keep us safe. It's not. This is not none of it's about politics or mask, no mask beliefs, but it's just about keeping yourself and keeping other people safe.
And we ate our dinners on a table with just the two of us. They asked us if we'd like to join other people, and we said no, we're avoiding people, and they said that's fine, they understand, and they always managed to get us at our own table. And I think that I would wear a KN95 mask for traveling and on the cruise ships personally, because getting on and off at different ports, a lot of other people are.
Yeah, and it was a requirement in all the ports we went to. Now, our itinerary did get changed. We were scheduled to go to Ocho Rios, and the night before Ocho Rios, the captain came on and said, we've been denied entry to Ocho Rios. We're in communications with the company trying to figure out what, any of their alternatives. The next morning, they said, we're going to go to, instead of Ocho Rios, we're going to their private island, Princess Cay, which is on Eleuthera in the Bahamas. And I was like, cool, that'd be great. That's a private island I haven't been to. I can do some video there. I was going to do a tour of one of the all-inclusives in Ocho Rios. I had to cancel that. And then it was this morning, they got on the captain announced that we're not going to be able to go to the Bahamas either. And so we're going to spend a day at sea.
They changed, evidently a lot of the islands have changed a lot of their protocols. They're getting stricter because of Omicron, and that's understandable.
Yeah, and like I said, it's another sign to me that we have cases of COVID on board.
Well, he said that there was some COVID cases. He did not say how many, but I have a feeling if you have one, they're going to get pretty strict about it on some of these islands. So.
Yeah, so and that's one of the things that I'm going to say about cruising in the COVID era is you have to be willing to understand. In fact, Carnival we got a letter from Carnival. We have a Carnival cruise coming up in 2 weeks, and they sent us a letter out and said, please understand that, because of Omicron and COVID, that there may be changes to your itinerary. You're not going to get anything extra other than your port charges back if they have to change your itinerary. And for Cheryl and I, we're fine with that. For us, a lot of the time, the destination really is the ship, especially in the Caribbean with now this next cruise is a Southern Caribbean. We've never done that. So we're looking forward to seeing the islands because on that cruise we have, it's on Carnival Horizon, which I heard is supposed to float back out of dry dock tomorrow. It's over in Italy getting an engine and refit done on it. So hopefully she makes it back in time, but right now it's on schedule. But we're going to do Aruba, Bonaire, and 2 places in the Dominican Republic. Well, we've never been to any of those places. So obviously for us, we would love to be able to go ashore. But the other side of the equation is if we can't go ashore, it's okay. Because we'll have been on a cruise ship, we'll have enjoyed the food and the entertainment and the chance to get away.
And the prices are really good now. So it's...
Yeah. So for those of you who are looking to score some deals right now is a great time, and I do help people save some money. So if you want to reach out, feel free. But you just be aware that if you book a cruise right now, the reason they're cheap is because there's some uncertainty. There was one that left port and had to turn around a day or so later and come back. The COVID was so bad on board, and I think that was mostly cruise ship employees. But again, it is a risk that you take. You have to be willing to assess the risk and say, yeah, I'm willing to put up with that. And understand that there's a good chance you will not wind up making all of your ports. Like in this case, we made 3 of our ports. We didn't make the 4th port. We got the Panama Canal. I'd have been very disappointed, but that one probably would have gone even if they didn't make any other port. The Panama Canal would probably happen because they don't have to let people off the ship through the canal, turn around, and come back.
Yeah, they only have to get the pilot and some linesmen on board. That's all they have to do.
Yeah.
But the other thing I said, with the other ship that turned around and went back after a day, it wasn't that people were really sick because they're all vaccinated anyway, but it was just the numbers. They just need to get under control. That's all.
Yeah. I was, and part of that is associated with it that there's a limit to how many sick crew members they can have. If the crew are infected and that number is climbing, it starts to affect safety and being able to provide service to the passengers. So again, these are things that you want to think about when you make your plans. Again, right now I'll lay out our upcoming schedule on Carnival Horizon the end of the month. middle of February. We're on the Voyager of the Seas out of Barbados, a bunch of ports in a 7-day cruise. The first part, no, I guess actually toward the end of March, we're going to be on the Scarlet Lady on a 4-night cruise. So we have a lot of cruises ahead of us. We're planning on taking all of them. We're not planning on canceling any of them. Will they all go exactly as planned? I would bet not. I that's my expectation is things will get changed. But again, it's okay, from us. All right. If you have questions, post them in the comments so that we can get them answered. We've been trying to answer as we go.
Someone asked about door decorations. We saw some door decorations since the last live show. So yes, they do allow door decorations on the Emerald Princess.
Yeah. I would either make it magnetic or, something that you can put up with some kind of mild tape. But we have seen them. They didn't, and they stayed here for most of it. Was like a New Year's, Happy New Year's sign on somebody's door, and it stayed up. They never took it down. So obviously they didn't mind. Trying to think what else.
We hadn't eaten at the steakhouse the last time.
Oh, yeah. So we did eat at the Crown Grill. And for those of you that have maybe never tried specialty dining, we were very impressed with both the Italian restaurant and with the Crown Grill. I will say that the Crown Grill was good to very good. The service was excellent. We've had steaks that were a little bit better on other cruise lines, but we've eaten specialty dining on everything. Though I would say it was well worth the money because it was fairly inexpensive, $29, I think.
Yeah.
Something is what the surcharge on it. The Italian was really good.
And the charge is different for each restaurant. Like you ate at the Gastropub was $18. I didn't join you for that.
The Gastropub. Okay, I do have to say that the Gastropub might have my favorite paid venue hamburger on any of the cruise lines I've tried. Now I ate on the Royal Caribbean at Chops, and they have an amazing hamburger. But the Gastropub was really, really good. I thought that was excellent. At some point in time, we'll probably do some rankings of all of them.
And then what were those two restaurants at the back of that?
Yeah, On Board. For those of you that are interested, Planks is closed, and also Steamers is closed On Board.
I think it's just because they're just not full enough.
Okay, so Jason, yes, they had movie Under the Stars even when there wasn't stars.
It was like almost all day and all night. They probably show 5 or 6 different movies a day.
Yeah, they showed a lot of movies out there.
A lot of variety.
But they will have, what they did have, at least on our sailing, was on the weekend they had football games in the, during when the games were live. So that's a great place to do it. I have to comment, for those of you that haven't seen this, I love the Medallion. I would say right now that the Princess Medallion and the Medallion app move Princess way up on my list of favorite cruise lines. Now, the app is not perfect. It's a little buggy on the phone sometimes. Sometimes it hangs up. Sometimes it even hangs up on their boards. But I can take my phone and I can go into the app and I can tell them that I want 2 lattes and exactly how I want those lattes, and they will show up in my room. If I'm not in my room, they will show up at whatever table I am on whatever deck I am. I asked Cheryl if she thought that would work at home, and she said as long as I was willing to go get whatever I wanted, it would be just fine. And I had to fix it too.
But you can also check the menus usually. That's the part that I have the hardest trouble getting to cooperate. But you can check the menus. You can see what you've got scheduled. Just getting close to your door, it just unlocks for you, and it says, cool, hello, Cheryl, your door's unlocked now. And it's pretty nice.
They have a game. I tried to play it and I broke the system yesterday, but they have a lot of things. You can go with your Medallion app and you can go up to one of the displays and click the Medallion app up against the screen, or there's a little area where you push it. And what'll happen is it'll bring up your calendar. So if you want to see you, for some reason, you don't have your phone and you don't know where you're supposed to go or what you want to do, you can find where you're going, what you have reserved. You can check the menu, you can check your meal. And then if you need directions, it'll show you how to get there, either a normal quick route or an accessible route from where you are to your final destination. And again, like I said, that is just an amazing use of technology.
So like for us, we're on Emerald, the 8th floor. We're on Emerald on the 8th floor. And then to get over to like the 16th floor up high for the buffet, it will tell me go down to the 7th, go across, and then go up. And that's because they have that where our room is, the handicap room is right by the elevator. So if I can avoid the hallways where the cleaning carts go by the rooms, it's so much easier. So it is actually faster usually if you just go down and over rather than trying to go up and over.
And Sean, the answer is yes, absolutely. Make sure you have everything done so you're ocean ready. And our embarkation was a little bit of a mess because the ship was so late coming in. It had gotten stuck in Falmouth in Jamaica because of the weather. They have a really tight port, and so because of the wind, they didn't think it was going to be safe for the ship or the reef for them to try to move it out under the wind that they were dealing with. But even with the challenge we had, the check-in is easy. Basically, you go up and you'll have to have, you want out your passport, your shot record, and your COVID test. And again, most of that stuff you can have on your phone. And you go up and they'll scan this, and then it'll recognize who you are. They'll look at you, make sure the picture matches. They'll look at your passport, your shot record, and then you're ready to go on the ship. Now, normally speaking, what will happen is all of that happens in one motion and you're on to the ship. In our case, we were the last people to get in the terminal before they cut off taking people into the terminal. Because what had happened is the ship was late and the waiting area was full. And it was actually, if we had not, because of some circumstances, hadn't been taken into the elite lounge, I might have asked to go back outside. It was so crowded in the terminal. But we should be in port plenty early. You should be everything should be on time. So show up when they tell you to show up, have your documents, and probably 10 minutes from the time you walk in, you'll be done and headed up to being on the ship. And in fact, Sean, if you're where you can, check in next week and let us know how it worked for you if you're on next week.
Yeah, the ship got there about 5 hours late for us. And they had emailed everyone and said to come later, but I think a lot of people didn't check their email that morning. So,
Yeah. And so to answer your question, Cheryl, you can dine with other parties. And here's Cheryl and I, we asked to just have a separate table. Again,
stay away from people.
Yeah. It's not that we're antisocial. We love, in a normal world, we love eating with other people sometimes to get to meet new people. But in our case, because we wouldn't know what their status was, we just chose to dine by ourselves. And the dining rooms was really spaced out. Today at lunch, I think we had a table for 8 to ourselves. For dinner, we were at a table for 4 right by the window. But the dining situation worked well. They asked us if we'd like to eat with others, and we could very easily have said yes. But in our case, it's our caution, and I don't want to say fear, but just we try to be careful. So we chose not to.
And we usually went to eat early. If you go early, like for dinner, we try to go about 5:15, and it's almost empty in there, and you can feel very safe if you are concerned. If you wait till about 6:30, they say it gets really, really busy. Then it might be more crowded, and you might need to, if you want, you might either wait or eat with someone else. But a lot of people wanted to eat with other people. I heard people meeting each other on other tables. But right now we're just at home. We stay to ourselves, and here we stay to ourselves.
Yeah. I would I do like the choice. So you have the option of asking for fixed seating for the entire cruise. So if you like the traditional, you can get that. In our case, we asked for the Dine My Way option, and what that let us do, that you're going to answer your question. So we had the My Time dining, and what that did for us
You could pick the same time every day if you want
Okay.
on My Time Dining. You can every day you can say I want to eat at 5, I want to eat at 5. But if there's something we really wanted to do at 4:30, we could say, "Oh, we'll eat a little later," or if we wanted to go to an early show and we were running late on other things, then we could. One day we ate after the show about 8:15. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was
there
nice.
was we wound up changing a lot, but primarily we ate around 5 o'clock when the dining room opened, and most tonight was the first time in a long time that we didn't have the same table and the same waiter. It just worked out because we got there early, and there was a table that was really, again, Cheryl's got a wheelchair, so there was a table right as you went in where they would a lot of times put us. There was space to put the wheelchair there, everything. Tonight they gave us a window table, which was really nice. It was right at sunset, so we could see the sun going down out our window. So that was very nice. We had different waiters, but uh, we're fine with either way.
Yeah, I liked when you're going into the Da Vinci dining room. It's a long hall there, and there's no crowding when you're waiting to get in. It's really nice, and there's plenty of room for several scooters and wheelchairs there. It's just there. Don't worry about that. You'll be fine as long as they'll help you get to your seat, and then they'll put it out of your way for you.
One thing, if you eat in Botticelli, that you have to keep in mind is you cannot get to Botticelli. It's on deck 6, but you can't get there on deck 6. You got to go up to 7, well, actually, you have to go up to 7 or above, go aft, and then go down the aft elevator to get to Botticelli.
Botticelli's is pretty much similar to Da Vinci, except it's on the far back, and it's maybe not quite as fancy as far as the decor.
Okay, and Sharon, to answer your question, it's really interesting in that your phone does not have to have it doesn't have to be connected to the internet. So, for example, I share one internet plan between two devices. So, in this case, I'll get me logged in here. This is not connected to the the internet, but it's connected to the Wi-Fi on the ship, and so actually, right there's my. Probably blurs maybe too much, but that was my dinner reservation. But I can go back to.
You can use the app without buying the internet because it runs on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it runs on the Wi-Fi, but it doesn't give you access outside. So we'll just go through this process because I'm in the mood anyway. So I'm going to click order food and drink. Brings up my menu. Now you can order adult beverages or non-adult beverages. You can order food. You got the late night. Want some fries?
Gifts.
Yeah, you can get gifts. You can get a lot of things on this app. But in this case, I'm just going to order. Clicked on it and selected that I wanted coffee and tea. Click the coffee button. I'm going to go down here to the bottom. And I'm going to order a vanilla bean latte. So I'll click that. Then it wants me to customize it. So I'm going to tell it I want a large size because there's no sense of making it make a trip for a small size. And then I want it in a Go cup. And then I want some cream in it. And I want some Splenda, so I'll tell it Splenda, and I'll hit save. And I'll click add item to the cart. Goes in my cart. I click my cart. I click order now. Okay. So it tells me that the order is done. It's been ordered. In a minute, it'll change to somebody's fixing it. And in another few minutes, it'll change to, hey, it's on its way. And it shows up that easy. Now, we do have the drink package, which makes all of the coffees free. If for those of you that haven't made your decision, I am a huge fan of their Princess Plus package because it includes your tips, it includes your drink package, it includes one Wi-Fi per person. So we got all of that at a much lower price than we would have if we'd have just ordered it direct. Okay, well,
it's coming. It says it's a crew member has started on your order. They're preparing it. It says. They'll be here in about 5 minutes, probably.
Yeah, and so just you take your phone with you, connect it to the ship's Wi-Fi, and you're good to go. It does work, like I said, for adult beverages. So if you want adult beverages, if you want a hamburger and French fries, hot dogs, tacos, whole variety of different kinds of food. That's yeah. I'm trying to go through and look at the messages. I got that one. Yeah, I said this is for me a huge improvement because it gives you all the features of room service, but you don't have to be in the room. I have done this up on deck, out by the pool. And here's an interesting thing. Sometimes you can get a drink faster this way than you can if you go up and stand at the bar. So it works. Like I said, it works really well.
I think they just probably put it to the least busiest bartender and let him get it ready, and somebody runs it over.
More than anything else, they've delivered cappuccinos and lattes to the room for me because I'm sitting here a lot of times working on some kind of social media something, and it's just really nice. It shows up. It's not quite on its way, but we'll see if it shows up during the broadcast.
If you use a wheelchair, there's 2 ways into the theater. One is on level 6. Level 6, you go down the sides of the ship on either side of the theater and down at the bottom. And there are places to park wheelchairs and walkers there, or to sit in your wheelchair right there at the end of the row. And then if you go onto deck 7, normally deck 7 has about 10 steps up into the theater, but in the middle of the theater, on deck 7, you go to the middle of behind the theater, and you go across up a little ramp, and then it divides, and you can go either to the left or the right and go up another ramp and get into the back of the theater. And they have places there for wheelchairs with room with a couple like 3 regular chairs on each side where someone can sit with somebody in a wheelchair next to them. And that's nice. It's a nice theater. You can hear everything just fine from up there. And I was able to push myself up the ramp by myself. It's a lot faster coming down though, so you might need to hold on to those brakes.
And Kim, no, there's no charge for delivery, at least with the package. If you don't have the package, then there would probably be a gratuity that gets the 18%. When you purchase the package, it includes the 18% gratuity, so that there is no charge for it. So, like I said, I have enjoyed it. We've had late night food brought up. They have one of the things you can get is chips, and I thought, well, maybe they made chips on the ship. So I ordered them one time with a hamburger, and they're just regular chips came out of a bag. But they do a good job with French fries. They do a good job with burgers and hot dogs. I thought the chicken tacos were pretty good on the
pizza's very good on the ship.
Pizza. Okay, so somebody made the statement on Twitter. Somebody that I follow and she and I kind of go back and forth. She's from England and she has a YouTube channel, and hers is focused on young people. But she's made the claim that Princess has the best pizza at sea. And I can't say that they have the best pizza at sea because, I haven't had enough samples in a close enough period of time to know. I mean, ideally, you'd have them all laid out and, a bite of each. I haven't been on all the ships at sea, so I don't know the answer from there. But I will say this, is that this pizza on board has been the best pizza we've had this year on a ship, far and away.
Yeah, I've had one years ago. I favored more, but that was a long time ago. And it was very good. They had enough toppings on it that I felt I was getting something. I know this year, a lot of the cruise ships, I'm like, is there even any topping on this pizza? I didn't ask for crust. So it's been kind of disappointing. And so when we tried these, I was real happy. They had a vegetarian pizza a couple days, and it's got fresh peppers and onions, and it was very good.
Yeah, they don't have a wide selection.
Crew member is on the way with the drink now.
So we'll get to see here in a minute how long it took. But I would say this to the question about the charge for delivery. If you order pizza, there is a $3 charge to deliver the pizza. That is the only food item on the menu that it has a delivery charge. That has a delivery charge. There is you can order some things from the specialty restaurants that have a charge that comes with them, but in general, most everything is free. And like I said, we don't eat a lot. We haven't had breakfast here. We don't have a balcony this time. We're in an obstructed ocean view, so we haven't ordered breakfast in bed or anything. Even when we've had a balcony, we're not very good about doing that.
Obstructed ocean view. I think this is maybe the first time where there was something really out there. It wasn't just like a walk. It wasn't just like the patio or the deck. And so there's like structures out there and
lifeboats.
He was taking a nap today, and they're out there washing the window and stuff.
And I heard a tap, and it sounded like somebody had knocked on the door. So I jumped up and ran over to the door, and there wasn't anybody there. And as I was going back to the bed, I saw the guy bump the squeegee against the window again. And but like I said, we've had a great time. It's been a lot of fun. Let's see. It
just says the same thing till they get here. Right?
Yeah, it just says that it's on the way. So we'll see. There should be. It's funny because you can't really see it, but at the app it says the charge for what I ordered is $4, and then it shows a minus $4, so the balance is $0.
It gave him an opportunity to cancel right away as soon as he ordered. If you pushed it and wanted to, immediately you can cancel it. But pretty quick after that, they're starting it already.
Yeah. So any other? Let me ask any other questions. We'll answer those. And now, would you start? Or
I don't know. I was going to talk about International Cafe, but I think we talked about that the other day. I enjoy, like, for a quick snack, the gelato at the International Cafe is $1.50 for 3 scoops. That is a really good deal because it's very good. And on MSC, I think it's $6.50 for a good sized serving of it. So we thought, wow, $1.50 for 3 scoops was pretty good. And there's lots. I think they have about 8 different flavors.
All right.
So.
Thank you very much. You too. So that gives you an idea. Sweetener, little tray.
Coffee. There's one coffee.
You know what they didn't get? This is the first time I didn't get a spoon. Usually I get.
Oh, you can use the flour thing.
But so I need a little bit of sweetener.
You can use this one.
Okay.
Improv.
That'll work.
And then it tells you delivered.
To answer Sean's question.
And you can look up your past orders in case you're wondering what your kids have been up to or whatever.
All the bars have been open. We have not seen any time that there wasn't the bars. We haven't seen any one bar that's not been open pretty much the whole trip. All of them have different hours, but I'm pretty sure that no matter what time of day, you can find something to drink.
Oh, now one thing I really liked about this ship is some of the other ships we've been on, if something's not open, the area is like closed off. Here, for example, the Wheelhouse Bar. That one, if I get out on, you never know which elevator you're going to get. If I get the elevator on one side, it's kind of a long way with the rugs to get around to where I'm going to. So I just cut through the Wheelhouse Bar all the time. It's always unlocked. And I just go through there, and it's, tile, so it's so easy. But, and then I got the impression from Nelson, who was helping us show us different parts of the ship for our videos. He was saying that, if it's a public area, it's pretty much almost always open. Now, the dining rooms are exception because they have to be cleaned and everything between each meal. But pretty much, if you want to, get out of your room and have some time, with you and your family out of your room, but not with other people, you can probably easily find a nice place with some comfortable chairs where nobody's around to either read a book or whatever you want to do. There's just, they're open and they're accessible and they're real easy to, so there's, with the number of people that are on board, it's like having your own bar.
Yeah. One of the things that we've enjoyed is they have in the main dining room, they have a choice of dessert wines. Oh. And so she's a fan of late harvest or ice wine types of wines. And I've had port and sherry, both that fit in the drink package pricing. So that goes really well with a little bit of dessert, and
Yeah,
they have good desserts.
They have a lot at the dinner menu. They have a lot of the drinks that are included, and I really prefer ice wine. But I don't know if you know, as far as I'm aware of, there was no ice wine harvest, at least from Germany this past year. It's very very sweet. I love it, and because the longer the grapes sit on the vine, the sweeter the wine. And so the late harvest wine is the closest thing to ice wine. And on another ship, I think it was 27 a glass. It was only $9 a glass if you didn't have the package. And I thought, oh, this is a good deal. This is a really good deal.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to wish I got some bottles and took them home.
But yeah, we've had, like I said, we've had a great trip. Like I said, there's been things that weren't perfect, but like I said, we've had a great time. You guys have been a great audience. We've been going for almost an hour here. I'll give you everybody a couple minutes if you got any final questions.
Oh, unlike deck 7, you can't. It doesn't. The outside, you can't just go all the way around. Like on some of the ships, that's kind of nice. It's almost like a nice jogging area separate from the top. And on this one, it doesn't go. It goes like a U.
Yeah, you can
it's
go
a U shape. You can go most of the way around. So,
yeah, it's basically the aft part of that is locked off for
it has
crew
steps
access.
to go up to 8. I think.
You can climb the steps up to 8 to walk
If you're in a
around.
wheelchair, you can't like go round and around.
Yeah. Oh, the jogging track. What was it? 16 turns around the jogging track.
I know, it's incredible. It's a very very tiny jogging track, extremely tiny.
And it's on deck 19 all the way aft. And there's also their miniature golf where they have putting and challenges and stuff. It is not like a lot of other ships where there are things there. It's just flat carpet. There may be a little bit of contour to it, but not much. And so it's much more like a putting green than it is like a miniature golf course.
Yeah, they do some putting challenges where you can compete against putting, but yeah, it's not miniature golf. Your children won't want to play there.
Well, yeah. They do have on deck 17 aft is where the children's club is. They have a private pool, private play area, and they have been open on the cruise. So for any of you that are traveling with children, they have been open.
But they don't let anybody tour that right now unless you have children there. You know, they're keeping everything separate, so we don't have any videos for that.
And just thank you, Pam and Sean, for the kind words. We try to help. That's our goal in all the things we do on our channel is to try to provide information that's useful to others, because our channel started because we had questions we couldn't find answers to.
Oh, one thing I want to say here, I don't know if we told you last time, there's a group of 30 blind people on this cruise, and the staff has been very helpful, and it's absolutely amazing. They made sure to say that's also one reason why the wait was a little bit longer in port. They wanted the blind people to be able to get on board, to give them some basic instructions so they could feel comfortable before they had 2,000 people come on here with them. And so that slowed it down a little bit, and I respect that, and I think that was a very good decision. And in fact, a couple times the blind people got off on the wrong floor and didn't know how to get about, and I asked them if they wanted to hold on to the back of my wheelchair, and I took them where they wanted to go, and they appreciated it. But the staff has been extremely helpful. They would have helped them if they had been right there. And one time, some blind people wanted to sit by the pool, and they wanted to, they needed somebody to describe where the chairs were and where they were in relation to everything. And so the officers, I asked a woman there, staff member at the restaurant right there to help them, and she called for help, and then 2 officers came up and helped them. So everybody here has been just wonderful. They'll help you with anything.
Yeah, I would say again, and the staff's been great with helping with Cheryl. I don't have anything negative to say about the ship. I really don't, or the staff or the food or anything.
No,
it's been a very nice experience.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we're gonna let everybody go. I'm sure that you have things to see and do. We're putting finishing touches on packing. Our big bags are done, but we got to pack up camera gears and computer gear and stuff so that we're ready to leave in the morning. And we'll be doing a live. Like I said, we're going to talk about ports next week. Week after next, we'll be probably discussing the Carnival cruise we have coming up. because that one, like I said, we're looking forward to that. I can't wait till we're on the Scarlet Lady. She's a whole different ball game when it comes to being a ship. Everything about the Virgin Voyages is a little different. I've seen people do videos on it, but nobody I've seen do anything about handicapped accessibility. So we're going to explore her and try to get you all the inside poop. And we will see everybody next week.
Bye.
Thanks.